DJ ARKULEN. Sound opens wide. Low waves moving. Clean bass rising. The test begins. Feel the space, let it grow. Deep sound rolling down below. Clean kick lands, pressure wakes. Every speaker starts to shake. Hold the rhythm, keep it clear. Low and power, moving near. No noise, no rush, just deep bass with clean touch. Sound check, bass flow, deep waves down below. Clean impact, heavy space, low and energy fills the place. Bass, deep, clean. Sound check, low, wide, strong. Every system finds its tone. Every room moves on its own. Bass hits deep, still controlled. Clean vibration starts to roll. Not just loud, not just force. Sound keeps moving on its course. Pressure rising, rhythm tight. Low and motion cuts the night. Kick stays clear, bass stays wide. Speaker response moves inside. Let it breathe, let it rise. Deep sound opens through the skies. Clean playback, heavy wave. Feel the system shake the bass. Sound check, bass flow, deep waves down below. Clean impact, heavy space, low and energy fills the place. Bass test, sound check, clean hit, deep response. Low pressure, wide sound, bass movement all around. Bass, 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 listen close, feel the sound, deep vibration all around. Strong but smooth, clear and wide. Bass line moving side to side. One last rise, one last wave. Let the low end open the space. Clean kick, heavy glow. Final pressure starts to grow. Sound check, bass runs deep. Clean vibration starts to speak. Low emotion, deep sensation. DJ ARKULEN, sound creation. Sound Face rhythms calling, sound everywhere. Slow rave motion, cold bass line, deep pulse moving out the time. Kick hits clean, shadows rise, low end fire in the night. Let the room breathe, let it shake. Deep sound forming in the break. Clean rhythm, dark wave. Low pressure finds the bass, 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 bass. Along. No messy noise, no broken line, just dark bass locked in time. Rave bass, deep glow, heavy sound down below. Dark rhythm, clean drive, low frequency comes alive. air slides, low pulse turning through the wires. Digital rhythm, clean and low, bassline moving with the chrome flow. Sharp kick lands, light stretch wide, deep sound running side to side. Let the circuit breathe, let it rise. Low end current cuts the night. No copied hook, no borrowed flame, only clean bass in the frame. Cyber bass, deep ride, low sound moves inside. Electric pressure, clean attack, heavy rhythm, bringing it back. Drive, low,
neon, deep, flow,
move. City lights bend, bass rolls slow. Every beat hits down below. Clean wave passing, no noise in line. Sound keeps moving in perfect time.
pressure builds up, air feels tight, low frequency takes the night.
Chrome bass rising, rhythm locked, deep pulse hidden.
Like a shock, kick stays clean, space stays wide.
Bassline cuts
Through the ride,
hold the signal, push the groove,
let the low sound,
start to move.
no overload,
No broken tone,
just deep power. It's so
cyber bass, deep ride, low sound,
moves inside.
electric pressure, clean attack, heavy rhythm.
Bringing it back. Neon bass, clean kick,
Emotion,
wide hit,
low pressure,
fast drive
sound energy.
comes alive.
Kick, kick, bass.
Night turns quiet,
Bass stays low,
clean waves travel.
nice and slow.
No loud word,
No crowded line
just the rhythm.
and the shine.
Let's one last signal.
One last climb,
Deep bass moving.
right on time.
Kick gets sharper.
Pressure grows,
Final low end.
starts to flow. Cyber drive, bass runs clean
Deep sound pressure.
in the scene.
Neon vibration.
Wide sensation
Low end rhythm.
in rotation.
Lights fade slowly.
Bass still flows,
Clean sound closing.
low wave goes. Dark floor breathing, low fire waves, Silent walls tremble, deep rhythm breaks. Slow drums turning, heavy and clean. Bassline crawling under the scene. Cold air moving, lights burn low. Sound gets heavier down below. Let the shadows move, let the pressure rise. Deep pulse opening under dark skies. No copied sound, no borrowed line, only raw bass, locked in time. Underground bass control, deep sound takes the soul. Heavy kick, clean vibration, low end power in rotation. Slow drift, no motion, wide space, heavy rhythm, hidden play. Click, click, bass. Only bass remains. Clean low thunder runs through the veins. Sound moves slowly, pressure stays near. Deep vibration, crystal clear. One last circle, one last rise. Low end shadow opens wide. Kick gets harder, bass gets low. Final pressure starts to roll. Ritual bass, deep and clean. Dark sound pressure in the scene. Heavy motion, wide sensation. Underground rhythm in rotation. Dark floor closing. Low pulse phase. Deep sound leaving. Clean bass stays. dust lights glow. Low drums waking, deep and slow. There's a rhythm, clean and white, bassline rolling side to side. Kick hits steady, air feels warm. Deep sound foaming like a storm. Let the ground breathe, let the pulse rise. Low in motion under red skies. No copied up, no borrowed flame. Only deep rhythm without a name. Desert bass, low and wide. Heavy sound moves inside. Clean kick, deep vibration. Dusty rhythm in rotation. Dust, kick, low. Deep, wide, slow, move. Hot air shaking, bass rolls clean. Low waves cutting through the scene. Every hit lands, pressure stays. Sound keeps walking through the haze. No crowded words, no bright disguise. Just deep bass under open skies. Drums get stronger, space gets wide. Low end power moves inside. Clean attack, heavy tone. Bassline breathing on its own. Hold the groove, keep it raw. Deep sound moving through the floor. No overload, no broken line. Just clean pressure locked in time. Desert bass, low and wide. Heavy sound moves inside. Clean kick, deep vibration. Dusty rhythm in rotation. Low drums, clean bass, deep pressure, wide space. Dust, rhythm, heavy flow. Sound movement down below. Kick, bass. Night falls slowly, bass stays near. Clean low thunder, crystal clear. Silent ground, moving air. Deep vibration everywhere. One last rise, one last wave. Let the low end open the space. Kick gets sharper, bass gets deep. Desert rhythm starts to speak. Dust, bass, deep and clean. Low sound pressure, pressure stays. Frozen air falling, cold lights breathe. Low sound hidden underneath. Crystal rhythm, sharp and slow, baseline sliding through the snow. Clean kick cracks, space turns wide, deep tone moving from inside. Let the frost rise, let the pressure form. Load and power cuts the storm. No copied line, no borrowed sound, only cold bass. Underground, ground, ice bass, clean strike, deep sound, cuts the night. Cold pressure, heavy glow, low waves start to flow. Ice, kick low. Cold, deep, wide, move. Silent walls shake, bass rolls clean. Frozen rhythm fills the scene. Every hit lands sharp and tight. Low vibration, blue as night. No crowded words, no bright disguise. Just deep pressure under frozen skies. Cold pulse rising, air gets thin. Deep bass turning from within. Kick stays focused, sound stays clear. Low end motion drawing near. Hold the groove, keep it cold. Let the deep sound take control. No overload, no broken tone, just clean bass on its own. Ice bass, clean strike, deep sound, cuts the night. Cold pressure, heavy glow, low waves start to flow. Frozen kick, clean bass, deep pressure, wide glass, cold motion, low space, crystal rhythm, heavy trace. Bass. Everything slows, only bass remains. Cold sound moving through the veins. Soft air cracks, deep tone stays. Clean vibration fills the space. One last freeze, one last rise. Low and thunder splits the ice. Kick gets sharper, bass gets wide. Final pressure moves inside. Frozen bass, deep and clean. Cold sound pressure in the scene. Crystal is floating. Deep below. Gravity fading, sound takes flight. Bassline drifting through the night. Clean kick lands, air stands still. Deep pulse climbing with a chill. Let it rise, let it breathe. Low in motion underneath. No copied phrase, no borrowed tone. Just clean bass on its own. Zero bass, deep and wide. Low sound moving through the sky. Clean impact, heavy flow. Pressure falling down below. Flows, kick, low, deep, wide, slow. Dark stars flicker, bass rolls clean. Heavy silence fills the scene. Every pulse lands sharp and low. Sound keeps drifting nice and slow. No loud story, no fake shine. Just deep rhythm, locked in time. Space gets wider, pressure grows. Low and current softly flows. Kick stays focused, tone stays bright. Bassline cutting through the night. Hold the wave, keep it clean. Deep sound moving unlocked. Concrete under rain. A red lamp flickers. Then the kick breaks in. Dun, 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 Steel walls sweating, lights cut thin. Heavy rhythm pulls us in. No crowd chant, no copied line, just a raw pulse. Keeping time, step to the floor. Let the room respond. Low pressure crawling from beyond. Clean hit, dark drive. Warehouse bass comes alive. Neon pressure, hard and low. Kickline cracks through the flow. Deep motion, clean attack. Bass rolls forward. No turning back. Kick, steel, low. Red light, deep drive. Move. Let cable shine, floor shakes tight. Baseline cuts through broken light. Every drum hit leaves a mark. Clean low thunder in the dark. No soft hook, no fake sound. Just deep rhythm underground. Pressure climbs, walls breathe slow. Low in current starts to grow. Sharp percussion, cold delay. Bass keeps pushing through the gray. Hold the room, lock the phase. Let the kick burn through the haze. No overload, no weak tone. Just heavy sound on its own. Neon pressure, hard and low. Kickline cracks through the flow. Deep motion, clean attack. Bass rolls forward. No turning back. Warehouse pulse, clean kick, low pressure, hard hit, deep rhythm, wide floor, bass impact. Give me more. Kick, 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 bass. Lights go out, but the floor still speaks. Low sound crawling underneath. Air turns, heavy rhythm stays clean. Dark bass moving through the scene. One last door, one last flame. The low end returns without a name. Kick gets closer, bass gets wide. Final pressure locks inside. Warehouse bass, deep and clean. Hard sound pressure in the scene. Neon vibration, raw sensation, low end rhythm in rotation. Rain on concrete. Kick fades slow. The floor remembers where the bass goes.